And good morning on Wednesday, July 5th. It's episode 250, the big 250 of the 359 podcast. And as would see fit, we've been cursed. We apologize for the delay. For whatever reason, Ben has pointed out that we always have something technically go wrong that delays the starting of the show on the big landmarks. Yeah. But good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming back to us after the long weekend. What's up, guys?
First up. Stop.
First.
How were your weekends?
Fine.
I was in Canada.
Am I
very
on?
patriotic.
You are. You are.
I don't have
You're
a
on,
hangover.
Ben. I can hear you.
I don't have a hangover, but I have a freedom over.
Freedom over.
Don't know what that is, but it's
Too much
intriguing.
freedom this weekend.
Had too many bald eagles.
That could veer towards some dark territory.
It
Anyways.
should actually be a cocktail drink. But
Anyways, why don't we get started? We're going to be talking about the delays in Samsung's Bixby digital assistant, special deals that you can only get on special Prime Day deals. You can only get
deals for
via Alexa,
for Alexa. Yeah.
and lastly the real threat of GoldenEye or NotPetya. It's called something.
GoldenEye's a much cooler name for the ransomware attack that happened last week, but I've lost the branding battle and everyone's calling it NotPetya instead.
All right,
so that's what we're going with.
As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Brian will get to the best, and we'll try to answer them in 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
From 3 or after, yeah.
After 3 minutes and 59
Most likely after.
3, 2.
Welcome to the 359. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Remember Bixby's Samsung?
Keep going. Keep it
All right,
going.
we'll keep it going. All right, so remember Bixby? Probably not, but it's Samsung's digital voice assistant. They talked about it as sort of one of the marquee features of the Galaxy S8. Despite the fact that the phone has been out for months, Bixby is still nowhere to be seen. The Korea Herald has a report out saying that they're having issues with the English language version. They can't get enough data, basically, to
But
teach
it does work
Bixby.
in Korean.
It does work in Korean, but it doesn't work here, and that's delayed the launch. They said initially it was supposed to be in April, then end of spring, and now it's then June, and now it's obviously July, and we still haven't seen it. Still no word from Samsung on when this comes out. I mean, are you surprised?
I mean, why they can't get this right? I'm pretty that's surprising because this is a major tech titan. Just get your deadlines right. Like,
I mean,
what's the matter?
How did Amazon get the data for Alexa though? Because it kind of just came out of nowhere with that. I imagine Samsung had the same ace up its sleeve or something.
It's a good point. However, people tend to forget that when the Echo first came out, it only did like
basic.
14 skills.
Mm-hmm.
It was super basic, and they were able to build it out as they continued to get data.
Yeah,
Bigsby does not have that option because it has to be much better coming out of the gate because voice recognition technology and voice assistants are much more developed and much more complex than they used to be.
I'm very interested that, they were able to develop a working version in Korean first. I mean, I understand that they're based out of Korea and they have a lot more users there, but from my understanding, I feel like Korean is a much harder speech recognition.
Part of the problem, and the Korea Herald kind of breaks this down, is that U.S. engineers have been trying to work on this in English, but they've had, unsurprisingly, communications problems with the managers back in Korea. I think it was a lot easier to do it with the Korean language because, most of the upper staff, the engineers there are all speaking Korean.
Right.
So
They're
it's
more on the
easier to
same
feed
page.
more data. I think they probably have a friendlier base of users in Korea. From what I understand, they launched a beta here in the U.S. to a couple of sort of early access customers, and so far the results have been mixed.
Yeah, I would like to throw out there that I kind of feel like nobody really cares to a certain extent about Bixby because you've already got Google Assistant on those phones.
Yeah.
You can also get Google Assistant on an iPhone, which I would strongly recommend you use instead of Siri. So I don't think a lot of people are waiting around for it.
Yeah, it's funny because, the Galaxy S8 has a dedicated physical Bixby button on the side that does nothing right now.
That's true. That's true.
But if you want a Google Assistant, all you have to do is tap the home button and you're good to go. So, why would you want to use Bixby, even if it were working?
Yeah. So
that's the real challenge.
Also, in more voice assistant news, if you're interested in Prime Day, because God knows I am.
My wife is all stoked for it.
Right. So Amazon Prime Day, which starts on at night on the 10th and it goes into the 11th, you can ask your Echo or your Echo Dot or whatever other Amazon devices that you have for special deals on Alexa. So
and these are Alexa only deals.
Alexa only deals, and the reason that this is interesting is that Amazon just continues to try to make voice shopping a thing. So
Right.
it's trying to create special discounts and deals to get people interested in doing this.
I mean, clearly they're just training people to get comfortable
Yep.
using their Echo to buy stuff.
Admittedly, I mean, I have 2 Echoes in my house. I do not do a lot of voice shopping. I always want to price compare, so
Will you?
I don't do it that much.
Will you
Maybe
shop?
I will on Prime Day.
I mean, I'm
might.
very surprised that they said more than 3 million people, like, there's been more than 3 million, like, Alexa, what are your deals, like, commands, like,
Right.
since it's been released. And it's just, I can't believe that many people would shop like that.
There
It's
are
so
a
weird to
lot
me.
of Echoes out there.
All right. So lastly, we wanted to talk about NotPetya or GoldenEye or whatever you want to call it, that massive ransomware that hit last week. Alfred, you had a story breaking down the real reason why this exists.
So essentially, the idea is that this wasn't really a ransomware attack, but a way to wipe out data in general. Ransomware, in its essence, like locks up your data and like, encrypts it so that you can't get it, and then asks you to pay up so you can get it back. The idea behind this is they used ransomware as a cover so they could just delete your data in general. And if you looked at the code behind it, and if you looked at the emails where the ransom was supposed to go to, it was really bad, and they never really existed to begin with.
They didn't really try that hard
Yeah,
to,
so
get,
It's
to make
because
money.
they was
I can't
the
say who
Russians.
it is. I
Wasn't
can't
it
say
the
that.
Russians?
A lot of
can't
people.
say
That's
that.
a theory. The
theory
Ukrainian
is-
police blamed the Russians for it, but there's no definitive proof that it was them.
Interesting.
All right. So for more of these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for listening.
So, what shall we open back up with for chatter today? I know we have a limited amount of time.
Yeah, sorry guys, I've got a meeting in about 6 minutes, so this is going to
6
be a really
minutes of
short
Q&A.
Q&A.
If you got any questions about Prime Day or about NotPetya or about Bixby, I know right now Harish is asking when will Bixby be available in India, and that's we got nothing.
We have
don't
no
know when it's
idea.
gonna be
I mean,
available
right now,
here.
like again, it's only available in Korean. They're having trouble with English, so I have to imagine other languages are way in the back burner.
And you really can't trust Samsung's like predicted dates on this, considering that they kind of missed the mark already on
Yeah,
like, English.
twice.
So.
Yep.
But it could be rolled out to India in English, though, right?
It
I
could
mean,
be.
Maybe that's what he was asking about. So.
I mean, if you're looking
Either way,
for,
though, we still don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're way behind the curve. The Legend 34 says, "I like the name Bixby. I know we've given it a lot of
A lot of guff.
guff in the past. It's
It was,
okay.
I felt like it
Also
was
a
it
millennial.
was also it was chosen because it was millennial friendly. It was kind of a hipster name, and it was also gender free.
I
So-
don't get.
Have people started naming their kids Bixby yet?
There are some
After
kids named
Samsung, I hope
Bixby.
not.
No, after the actor who played the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, you did
Millennials don't
reference
know
that
who
again.
that is.
Wait, yeah, who? I know the original Incredible Hulk actor.
Who was that?
He went to my high school. He was like a graduate from there. I don't remember his full name.
No, he
but-
didn't.
No, Bill Bixby
Bill
played
Bixby.
the Incredible Hulk in
You're
the
talking about- are you talking about-
1980s.
And he
Are you
did
talking about
not
Eric
go to
Bana?
that school.
You're talking about the original movie Hulk.
No, I'm talking about the TV show Hulk.
Guys, more questions.
Let's move on.
We
what
have
are you
no
guys?
time.
What are you guys looking forward to at for Prime Day this year? I haven't even had a chance to look at the alleged deals, the Echo deals.
The chef's hat that's like 50 cents off.
No,
I like never look forward to it.
no,
All
I
the
was-
deals are terrible.
no, I
Do you
was
think,
looking-
do you
There
think
are a
we're
lot
in
of
better
bad
shape this
deals.
year? Because I know like last year they were kind of like, oh, this is just kind of like a garage sale.
Yeah.
For the past 2 years, it's been that where like they're basically trying to clear out their
The warehouse.
inventory
But
into the summer.
which-
I did
Fine.
notice the deals that were being offered, these Alexa deals, a lot of that stuff was smart home related, was Alexa related.
That's true.
So they're really trying to push. I mean, we were thinking about stuff like that, like connected
Yeah,
plugs
I
and
mean,
whatever. I think they're
the
really
Wemo
trying.
smart plug,
Yeah.
which costs like $35 and you get $7 off if you order it through Alexa.
Very good
I mean,
memory.
like it's still expensive
I still
for a plug. Come on.
First of all,
But it's a
smart
Wi-Fi
plug, okay?
connected smart plug.
I can turn off that plug with my phone. I
Exactly.
think. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or with Alexa. So anyway, sorry we keep triggering your Alexas, people. I'm not doing it on purpose.
Matthew Datcher is asking, is Prime Day really anything more than just splurge spending?
Yeah, no, that's
No.
true.
Not
at all.
And
that's
hello,
exactly
Matthew.
what it is.
Here's
Yeah, sure.
here's this
Yeah.
lightning deal for something that you don't really need.
Well, I don't know. Like last year, diapers were on discount. I mean,
To be
that was
fair,
clutch.
To be fair, I think they sold out on their Roomba vacuums in like 3 seconds or something. The problem is, and they did get better with this the second year around, where they had really hot deals. They were like the doorbuster deals.
Yeah, yeah.
But they had such low inventory that they sold out of them immediately. They increased the inventory, but still sold out of them immediately
Yeah.
the second year. But you had a bit of a less of an excuse that like you missed out, but they had like
I
twice as much.
both years I spent hours like just browsing for like good
Yeah,
deals,
same
and I
here.
never
I found
didn't
very
buy
little.
a single thing.
I waited for previous years. I waited to buy stuff that I wanted, and lo and behold, like none of that stuff was actually on sale. So you
It
just
probably ended up being
invariably-
cheaper come Black Friday.
Yeah, you invariably end up just like purchasing stuff because you've got like the sunken cost that you've been sitting on Amazon, just
Yeah.
like you were. You're like, well, now I have to buy something. So
That's
I have
exactly
10
how they get you.
I have 10 chef's hats now. Nothing to do with them.
Well, you wear them, one every day, and then 3 for backup.
yeah,
I just like walk around like, who is the chef in this house?
right. But going back to the voice shopping stuff, like if they definitively can say like, hey, this is going to be discounted from what the regular price is for something, then you don't have to price compare as much, and maybe you can voice shop with a little bit more certainty or a little
Yeah,
bit
if they
more
offered some sort of like
confidence.
price guarantee or something, right?
That's pretty interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I
or at the
still
very
don't-
least, if you know that it's discounted 20% off of like the regular market rate, then
Yep.
like I would be much more likely
I still
to
don't think
purchase.
voice shopping makes a lot of sense. I
think it
I feel like you're
does-
shopping blindfolded.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like it does if there are certain like staple goods, right? Like milk,
like a bowl
or
of cereal. I don't know.
Bowl of cereal.
You know what?
Not a bowl of cereal. Maybe a box of cereal.
You know, like
Like it
I
literally
would-
comes with a bowl of
I
milk
would, I
and
would
a
do
spoon there.
I would do voice shopping if it was for food. Like if I could order like a pizza from like my local like pizzeria or
I
something
think you
like
can
that.
do that.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
on
can
my
do that
phone,
on Echo.
but like
Yeah.
No, you can totally do that
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
Echo
Okay.
using Domino's Pizza.
all right,
and
then I'm
Pizza
doing
Hut.
it.
Do it. Do
And
it.
Papa John's, I think,
Yeah.
It might be Papa
because
John's.
Papa John's has
Yeah.
infiltrated just about everything.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to wrap it up.
Papa's in the house.
Wait, more questions.
Papa bless. We got one more real good question before we wrap it up. Speaking of voice assistants, Kellen's asking, would any of you guys personally use Bigsby on a daily basis? Now, Ben, I
Well,
know
we
you
haven't-
adhere to the Church of Echo, so
Well, we haven't really even
That's
tried
true.
Bixby, so it's hard to say. Again, Bixby's a little bit different. It's supposed to be an assistant that helps you control your phone. Like you'll be able to run searches for specific photos in your phone, or it's
Or
not
like
quite.
change settings.
It's less about search and more about sort of helping to manage your device
yeah,
better.
but how often do you use the voice like assistant on your phones anyway?
Never.
Yeah, that's.
I use it a
think,
lot.
I think that's the
Yeah,
question
but you're
here,
that's,
though. Like,
that's your thing.
Siri does a pretty good job of like helping me call my wife. I mean, like that's basically it. Where you just
I
say
just
like,
tap 2 buttons.
call this
yeah,
person.
that's my
I
hands
know.
do a pretty good job of that as well.
Fine.
All right.
So
well,
would you use
we,
Bixby then?
Wait.
No, because new voice assistants, I would say, are going to be very shaky for at least the first couple months,
All right.
if not the first
Sorry,
year.
we got to wrap things up.
Yeah.
We gotta go. So if you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Feedburner, and Google Play Music. We'll try to do better tomorrow. Have a little bit longer of a Q&A session.
I
But
will
gotta
break
go.
everything.
The
All right,
emphasis is on
bye.
dry.
Run, Roger, run.
Run,
Hey,
Roger.
While Roger jumps on out of here, we do want to remind everybody that we are going to be going on a brief hiatus starting next week through the week following, but we are pre-taping a few fun episodes to kind of fill in the gaps while we are out of the office.
Yo, do we want to do 3:59 After Dark, take a few more questions now that Roger bails?
What the hell
If you
is
want to,
after
yeah.
dark, dude.
Yes.
Do we need to turn the lights off?
No,
No.
not at all.
I mean, like,
Okay.
we could, though.
False
That would be
ending,
weird.
everybody.
But
False ending.
more
For
importantly-
the 120 people that
This
are
is like
still
the
here.
after credits.
Oh, no, we ain't finished.
So here's a thought, though. Before we do wrap it up for the day, if you have any requests as far as like a fill-in kind of evergreen show, we have a couple of entertainment-based topics that we are going to be publishing during the hiatus that we've pre-taped. If you have any great suggestions you want us to cover, go ahead and throw them on into the comments. Hit in the comments when this posts on demand shortly, and maybe we'll try to gladly get to any of this. But
Yeah.
so as far as what do you use for your assistant for? Because personally, I just check the weather,
Check the
get
weather.
my news, occasionally play music. That's
Set timer.
kind of
Also,
about
It's a
it.
remember
lot
the-
of the basics.
I remember the name of the Hulk guy now. It's Lou Ferrigno.
Lou
He went to your
Ferrigno.
school?
He went to my high school, yeah.
No kidding.
I wasn't there at the same time as he
Love
was.
that guy.
So he was actually the Hulk.
Yes,
Bill
that's what I
Bixby
meant.
was David Banner, aka Bruce Banner.
Okay.
David Bruce Banner.
Okay.
So
Lou
Just saying.
Ferrigno.
that's pretty cool.
Lou
He's
Ferrigno.
a,
Yeah, I
he's,
don't-
he's a
He's
pretty
along.
chill dude.
Yeah.
I like that.
The one thing that I use my Echo for that's at least slightly more advanced is to turn on and off the lights in the living room, and that's not even that
Wow,
advanced.
you're like a futuristic.
I've got smart
I had
lights,
to-
yeah.
I will say
had to
this.
set up like a Philips Hue bridge and frankly, I don't really recommend it that much to people unless they're really, really into it, because you can either screw in a light bulb and turn the lights on and off, or spend 20 minutes setting up a smart light bulb. Like, it's not that easy.
will say
It's kind of
this.
nice when I'm coming in the door with like an armful of groceries.
I agree. Once it's set up, great, but it's my kids to make sure that they don't like, grab something that they're not supposed to, whatever. So oftentimes I'll yell to my Echo just to like find out what time it is, or like what's the weather going to be. But like, there are like more than 10,000 skills on it, and I probably use 5 or 6. Like, it's really not that
I
extensive.
mean, you can say that about a lot of things. There's like probably like
millions
of apps out there, and you use like 13. So
yeah, it's true.
it's a fair assessment.
We do have a request for an Evergreen show recording. Dre Frey just says comics.
Comics.
I can handle that. I know you can't.
Yeah, I could.
You still, Alfred, do you still read printed things?
Yes,
You're a
I'm reading a
millennial.
book right now.
A book?
That I got for so here's my policy on printed books versus ebooks, right? I live in a neighborhood where people leave their leave used books out on their stoops a lot, and those are pretty much the only like printed books that I read. If people like leave them out on their stoops, or some of the books that we have in this office,
Aren't those like
lying around.
mostly like romances, or what are those?
Don't judge
called?
what I read.
Yeah. Okay.
One more to expand on our request from Fumar says DCEU or MCU, so we could do comics in the comic movies.
We're talking about movies right
DC
now.
expanded universe to Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, that would
Oh
lead
my
right up
God.
into Comic-Con too.
That would
Yeah.
be. That,
We do have a
that isn't
little
bad
bit
idea
of
at all.
Comic-Con related stuff coming, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about the comic book stuff. Didn't I tell you
We've
about
done
this
a little bit
before?
about this. It's a little easy, but not
The
bad.
DCU
I
is
mean,
terrible.
I stopped reading Marvel comic
Wonder
books
Woman
a
is
long
great.
time ago and switched over to like Dark Horse and
Yeah.
what was the other ones? Image.
I used to read a lot of Dark Horse when they still had Star Wars.
Yeah.
I read a little
I
bit.
went into the indies, which I'm sad did not really take off. I mean, like Marvel
still-
and DC.
Oh, I
were
love
very-
IDW, though.
They
I
were
still
very
think
strong
that
back in the
the,
day, and they continue to be.
the Garfield extended universe is probably the best comic book adaptation into like films.
Sure. You
Bill
want to know,
Murray
like,
signed on to that project. Perfect.
normal, like a 3-part movie series. The three.
I think Sony actually has the rights to the Odie character, so they can never collab.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is 359 After Dark, people.
We're sorry.
The stupidest crap ever.
And we're sorry.
Right.
So that's actually probably a good point to really wrap it up.
Right, but we're not going to do the outro again. But thanks everybody for your suggestions. If you have any more for an evergreen show you want to hear us do,
Fill in for the
definitely put them-
hiatus.
Yeah, fill in for the hiatus. Send those in, after the piece posts on YouTube.
Yep. And
Yeah.
we will have one more regularly scheduled show before the hiatus. Hiatus in the house tomorrow. So we'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning, pending nothing breaks again and I don't cut my hand open again trying to fix it.
Cool.
So,
All right.
later, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.